Why do we love fantasy? Because it lets us escape, explore, and imagine the impossible. But building a believable fantasy world is the real magic. Hi, I'm Andrea from Bibisco, the novel writing software done by over 200,000 writers around the world. Today, we are diving into what makes a fantasy novel truly unforgettable. Let's start from the beginning. A fantasy novel is a story set in a world different from our own, often filled with magic, mythical beings, and supernatural rules. But the real heart of fantasy isn't just dragons or spells, it's the emotional journey. It's about hope, courage, sacrifice, and the eternal fight between light and darkness. Fantasy connects us to big, universal questions through the lens of incredible, impossible worlds. Not all fantasy is the same. In fact, choosing your subgenre is one of the first big decisions you'll make as a writer. Maybe you are drawn to high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, where everything is invented, from the continents to the currency. Or maybe you prefer stories like Harry Potter, where magic hides in plain sight. It's low fantasy. There's dark fantasy, where horror meets magic, urban fantasy, where spells mix with skyscrapers, and stories packed with swords, fights, and swords. Find the style that excites you most, because the world you love writing is the one your readers will love exploring. Worldbuilding is the foundation of every fantasy novel. It's more than just names on a map. It's about how your world works. What does it look like? What kind of terrain, weather, creatures, or cities will your characters encounter? What makes this world magical? And most importantly, how does magic work here? Are there rules? Are there limits? Who controls it and who fears it? Magic without boundaries feels too easy, so define how it functions. Bibisco gives you dedicated tools to build your magic system clearly and consistently, right from the start. Now think about people who live in this world, their traditions, their power structures, their conflicts. What do they believe? How do they govern? Do they worship dragons, build floating cities, or fight over ancient bloodlines? Cultural details, from food and fashion to politics and rituals, make your world feel layered and alive. And don't forget to draw a map, even a rough one. Geography influences everything: politics, war, travel, isolation, even trade. With Bibisco, you can keep track of it all, from unique customs to the ruling factions of each kingdom. Once your world is built, you need a story to bring it to life. That's where plot structure comes in. A lot of fantasy novels follow the hero's journey, a timeless structure where the protagonist lives their ordinary life, enters a new world of challenges, grows through trials, and eventually returns transformed. If you want to explore the hero's journey in more detail, we have made a dedicated video right here on the channel. But that's not the only structure available. You might be writing a quest, an adventure to retrieve something lost, or defeat a looming evil, or maybe a coming-of-age story, a chosen one tale, or even something more mysterious or epic in scale. Okay, before moving on, if you are finding this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more writing tips, storytelling guides, and tutorials on how to get the most out of Bibisco. It really helps us reach more writers like you, and it keeps the creative energy flowing. Let's be honest, even the most magical world falls flat without memorable characters. Your protagonist might be a brave warrior, a shy farm boy, or a jaded outcast. They don't need to be perfect. In fact, their flaws made them real. Your antagonist is just as important. They are not just evil for the sake of it. The best villains believe they are doing what's right. And don't underestimate the supporting characters. Mentors, friends, and rivals give your hero emotional depth and create those moments readers remember. Bibisco's characters development features let you define everything, from childhood trauma to current goals, so your characters evolve as your story does. Fantasy stories may be set in imaginary worlds, but the best ones reflect our real-world emotions and struggles. Think about what your story means. Are you exploring courage in the face of fear, the cost of power, the pain of sacrifice? Themes like loyalty, redemption, and identity give your story emotional resonance. They are what stick with readers long after the last page. Writing a fantasy novel is a massive creative challenge. That's why Bibisco exists, to help you stay inspired, structured, and on track. With Bibisco, you can define your world, characters, plot, and themes, all in one place. You can outline scenes, build timelines, map relationships, and develop a complete living story without losing anything in a mess of notes or documents. Fantasy gives us the chance to dream bigger, to imagine new realities, and tell stories that truly matter. So, whether you are just starting out or deep into your novel, remember, you have the power to build worlds and move earths. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.